Air way too early for the fake. This that real game for real bros. No decaf, no cap. Welcome to Shogun Bros, no decaf. Live every weekday, 6:30 in the morning, Central Time. Did you hear what I said? Central Time. We talk dogs, bloodline building to yard work, from stud talk to the truth behind the pups. This ain't no highlight reel. It's how you really build legacy. Shogun Bros, no decaf. Pull up, pull up, handle yours. This ain't just content. It's culture. Welcome to the Cookout with Toyo, where family vibes meet front porch truth. No scripts, no filters, just heart, heat, and hot plates. Ooh. Step up with elevated perspective, with elevated game for grown men and women building mind, spirit, and vision. And men at work with Pimps Over Simps. Choice. Real convos, no cap, all purpose for the men behind the mission. 3 shows, 1 network, all gas, no decaf. Put no creamer in my man. Look, Shogun Unlimited, man. Press play and get man. Come on, press play, press play.
Yeah, we in here, man. What's happening?
What's good? What's good?
Ain't call it, might spoil it, man. Let's jump in the car real quick. Let me turn up the, you know what I'm saying? Let me put something on, man. What we talking about today, man? Give me some game, man. Give me some news I can use, man. It's a stick up. I don't want your money and I don't want your honey. I want the game, man. Now give it to me. Give it to me. You know what I'm saying? The
What's
stick up.
good? What's good?
What's
What's
good?
good? It's Mr. CEO back again. Men at work.
Yeah.
Another exclusive, man. We're gonna keep hitting you in
Yeah.
the head, man, till you're dead. You hear me? So look, today,
Hey man, what
what's
we
good?
talking about? Hold up, time out, man. You can't do that to him, man. You gotta tell him who you are, man. Who we talking to right now, man? Who am I talking to?
Man, Mr. CEO, aka Mr. Kenneth Collections, aka Mr. Acedonian Worldwide,
Uh-huh.
aka
Uh-huh.
man,
Uh-huh.
your stepdaddy, aka your godfather, aka
Uh-huh.
the nigga
Uh-huh.
you need to know,
Okay.
aka you better have my number in your phone.
Woo!
I'm back again, another exclusive, man. You know.
Oh yeah, but I said now, I like the way you say that, boy. Come on now. Yeah. Where you from, bro?
So, Washington, D.C. was born,
Yeah.
uh, raised up in PG County, traveled around a lot, lived down in C for a minute, South Carolina,
Uh-huh.
uh, you know, world renowned, I could say now, got my stamp at
Mm-hmm.
DR,
Okay.
so I'm doing my thing out there in Santo Domingo, East Side, Estee, all my
Mm-hmm.
chicas and my Chicos and Chicas, Kalo K and all my Haitians,
Okay.
all my Zoes down there. And DR,
Mm-hmm.
hold your head. I know shit is crazy right now, but hold your head. I love y'all, you know what I'm saying? And say passe. And yeah,
Ah,
yeah.
Saga Faye. Yeah.
That's say passe.
Hey, Saga Faye. Yeah. I'm St. Lucian, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, we speak that broken French too. I just can't speak it like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm learning. I'm learning. I'm learning.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, today, this is gonna be a
Okay.
very, very interesting topic today. The topic today,
Uh-oh.
the title is marriage a
Uh-oh.
good deal in 2025?
I
I
don't know, is
repeat,
it? You tell me.
is marriage a good deal in 2025? Now, I have 5 solid reasons that I would challenge anybody to prove me wrong on. I did my
Mm-hmm.
homework. Okay. Uh, so my answer to that is no, and I'm gonna give you 5 reasons
Okay.
why, and then we're gonna get into it.
Okay.
Number one,
Mm-hmm.
why I say no. Right. Number
Mm-hmm.
one, what benefit is there for a man in marriage that is unattainable if single? That's one.
Say
Now,
that
two,
again. Wait. Say that again.
what benefit is there for a man in 2025 to get married, right? In a
Mm-hmm.
marriage. What incentives or benefits is there for him if he gets married that he doesn't have or can't obtain if he's single?
Mm.
That's number one.
Hard to
Number
finish.
two,
Oh, look. Elevated. What's happening? Tony. What's happening? My bad about earlier, Tony. My bad, man. Yellow Wolf. I mean, that's a Yellow Wolf. That's my partner, man. Hey, Wolf, Lone Wolf. What's happening, bro? Ty, man.
good, was
Appreciate
good,
that, man. Appreciate that, Big C. You know what to do, man. Glad you
was
could be here,
good.
bro. Yeah, now continue. What's number two?
All right, now number two, marriage today is a union of man, woman, and the state, not God. That's number two, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, the third reason why I say no, it's no benefit. Marriage gives the woman and the state security and leverage. Number
Mm-hmm.
four, women today have been weaponized to destroy a man spiritually, physically, and mentally for capital
Mm-hmm.
gain. Number five, what laws or legislation exists that protects men? Nobody else, just men. Or what laws and policies were created solely for men?
Okay.
Now, let's get into it. Let's start with the first title.
Before
First thing.
before you start with that, let's see what's the positives.
I don't see any positives. That's my,
Okay. Okay.
I
Okay.
don't really
I
see
just
any,
wanted
but
to
now
ask.
there
It's just a
can be
question. It's just a
uh
question.
no, go ahead. I'm listening.
No, it was
Are
just
you
a
asking
question.
me?
No, that was the question that I asked. Yeah.
So you asking me if there's any positive benefits that come from marriage in 2025. That's what you're asking.
Yeah. Yes.
So my perspective, no. As a man, knowing what I know, having the competency that I have at my
Mm-hmm.
age, and going through the things that I've gone through, and just recently, getting divorced, um, I don't see that there's any benefit. So let me clarify something, because I know a lot of people, when I say, like, the title, is marriage a good deal in 2025? People are thinking of marriage as in, a relationship with a woman, and then
Mm-hmm.
not understanding that that's not what a marriage is.
So, but okay, but Big C saying I've seen what raising your kids in separate households can do to them, even if co-parenting together is still nothing like mom and dad in the home. I agree with that.
Right,
I do agree with that. But I know what you're saying. You could be in the home and still not be married, right?
right. Now, let me further elaborate. There's a difference between marriage and companionship, or uh, what's the word I'm looking for? A union, right? It's a difference between a union between a man and a woman, and then marriage. Marriage
Mm-hmm.
is something that was created, right, by the state to extract resources, and
Mm-hmm.
they've done a great job. Now, let me break that down. I'm gonna stick with number one. Number
Okay.
one was, what benefit is there for a man in a marriage that is unattainable if single? So basically, what benefits can you get as what benefits are there, whether financially or any aspect of life? What does it benefit you? What do you get from being married to this woman, right? That you
Mm-hmm.
can't obtain single, or without her.
Right.
Now, there's certain benefits that we all know that you could get tax breaks. There's certain benefits that come with being married. But when you weigh when you when you lay everything out on the table and you look at the benefits that come from being married, and then when you look at the pros and cons, what tips the scale is basically what I'm saying. So what I mean is there's really not the benefit is really not a benefit because of all the negative aspects that come with it. Now, that's also dependent on you and the woman that you're married to, right? That plays a huge role in whether it'll be a
I,
benefit or not.
that's what I wanted to say. You know, it depends on the woman too.
Right. But and what I'm speaking on is not the aspect of the actual relationship. I'm speaking on
Mhm.
the contract, because that's what a marriage is. You have to go down to the
Yeah,
courthouse, right? And
yeah.
you gotta file paperwork. You have to sign your name on a document, which makes it what? A contract,
Hmm.
a legally binding document,
Hmm.
right? It was signed, it was dated, it was notarized, right? So now, to proof that it's a contract, you have two parties. It's your name in all caps and your spouse's name in all caps, right?
Hmm.
That's a union between two entities, right? So,
Right.
but what is connecting that? See, originally it was supposed to be man, woman, and God. Whatever your God may be, whatever your religion, whatever your deity you worship or God you worship, whatever, it's supposed to be that you and that woman.
Hmm.
But today is they took God out, and the state has now interjected themselves into the position of God. So now you don't go to God for your resources. You don't go to God for help or to resolve issues within your marriage. You go to the state.
Yeah, you go to the state.
So is that they got the same code word. But so you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So basically, if you want to get a divorce, you no longer want to be with this woman. She no longer wants to be with you. You have to go through the state, right?
yeah.
Child support, that's through the state. Alimony, all this is through the state because the
Hmm.
state is controlling that relationship or that marriage. But they're only involved in it because you didn't. So this is, I'm gonna give you an example of what I'm talking about. I'm not saying that you shouldn't try to get with a woman and build. That's not what I'm saying. When I'm saying I don't agree or I don't think it's beneficial to get married in 2025.
Hmm.
What I'm saying is it's a certain way you need to do it to where as a man, it not only benefits you, but it protects you.
So how do you do it?
So the thing to do would be take the state out of it. You and that
Okay.
woman sit down and y'all two draw up a contract of your own, a legal
Hmm.
binding document, a marriage agreement, if you will. That's what you
Hmm.
can title it. You can title it whatever the hell you want. It's yours. You creating it. So it's basically Alpha David.
Okay.
So
Now.
you and that woman, hold on, hear me out. You and that woman sit down and y'all
Hmm.
come up with that contract, right? The things
Hmm.
that you can do, the things that she can't do, the things that you're willing to accept and deal with, the things that you expect or whatever. These are called terms. Those are the terms of the contract. Once
Okay.
both parties agree, both parties read that contract and they agree, and they okay, all right, I agree with this. You agree to the terms. All right, you agree to the terms too. Cool. Now you go to a notary. Y'all
Hmm.
both sign a date to get it notarized. A notary has the same power as a judge.
Okay.
And now you take that to the county and you put it on the record. So now you have a legal binding document with this woman, which gives you security and gives her security in this relationship. So
Yeah.
you're not worried about building with her and one day her taking all your shit and vice versa. She ain't got to worry about
I,
dedicating her life and getting fat and old and having all these babies and shit with you. And then one day you decide to leave her high and dry with all these babies. So at both parties have security and surety, right? And the states
yeah.
outside of it. So now, see what's happens is you'll get married,
So
right? Through this.
I'm saying, how do you handle that? You know, Ty say no woman is gonna agree, but how do you handle that in a dispute?
What you
because
mean?
you already know, like, you know what I'm saying. Paper legal, anything that you put in an affidavit is legally binding, right? If you
Right.
have a dispute, she take you before the court. You know, it's still gonna be in her favor.
It can't be in her favor. The only way it can be in her favor is if it's in the terms of the contract. See, you didn't create the contract that you signed with the state.
Mm.
So the state has all the power. And what the state has done has manipulated the mind of the woman to where now she could see. You got me dropping down into number 4. I'm gonna get
Oh
into that in
yeah,
number 4. How the woman was used and weaponized to target us to get in our pockets.
yeah.
This shit deeper than Nino Brown, baby. I
Okay,
told
come
you I'm
on.
coming with some heat, baby. I ain't coming to play games.
Hey, Papa Man with the plan. What's happening?
What's good? What's good?
Yeah, man.
So
Pimps in here,
that's number
giving
one.
us some game, huh?
So that's number one.
Yeah.
Why I say
Okay.
is no benefit, because I don't. It's nothing that you really can get benefit
Have you
wise.
have you been married?
Yes,
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
yes, and like I said, I would never get married again. If I
Mhm.
did, pursue a woman in the future that I was considering, a long term relationship with, that's the process I would go through. I would leave the
Mhm.
state out of it and let it just be between me and her and the contract
So
that we
if you,
create.
all right, I'm a little nerdy with it, man. So if you gonna leave the state out of it, are you gonna file taxes together?
You said we're gonna file tax. Well, see, that's a whole nother topic because I don't even pay taxes, and you shouldn't either.
Bro,
That's a whole nother segment right there. You jumping ship.
oh man,
We gonna get to that one later on. Like, we gotta get the foundation there
yeah,
first.
because I'm saying, okay, I'll leave
I'm
that
trying. Look,
subject
look.
alone.
Hey, I'm trying to lead y'all to
Uh,
the promised land. You know what I'm saying?
mhm,
That's it. I can show you the
mhm.
path. You can walk it with me, but I can't pull you. I can't hold your hand the whole way. You know what I mean? But
Yeah,
I'm trying to give the foundation, so then you can build upon that and we all can be good. But that's the whole point of Men at Work is to enlighten, especially specifically the younger men. Because if I would have had all this game and all this knowledge when I was younger, I would have made way better decisions and I wouldn't be in the situations that I'm getting myself out of now.
so I got a question for that then. Your younger self, right now. Picture your younger self right now. Do you see yourself sitting here and trying to listen to some game like that? Or do you think situations like this is forced on you? Like you see, you ain't got nothing, like, you surrounded by nothing but game and you got no choice. But do you think at this point, right now, you would be looking out for this game? Or you be out there doing your own thing?
Yes and no. So I would and I wouldn't. It depends. It depends on who the game was coming from. See, now I understand that I don't pay attention to the messenger. I pay attention to
Hmm.
the message. But back then
Hmm.
I was more concerned about who was delivering the message. So if
Yeah.
the right person was delivering the message, somebody that I respect and I actually value their opinion or their guidance or their leadership or their wisdom, then I'm gonna be all
Hmm.
ears. And I
Hmm.
was just fortunate enough that I had, competent men around me that were older. A lot of us coming up, we had, we look up to these niggas, but these niggas was really dumb as shit.
So I got a question there. Since niggas is dumb as shit, hold up. When do you think a male should have a clear conscience to see, you know, things for what they are? When do you think is the average age?
I don't honestly, bro. I don't think it's ever an age. I know men that are in their 80s that act like they 16. I know men that are in
Mhm.
their 20s that act like they 80. You know what I mean? So
I'm
it
saying generally speaking, like I'm saying, like, hypothetically speaking, when do you think a male should have some clarity as far as understanding of um women, not in detail, but enough to know, hey, I need to be focusing on myself, on my journey. You know what I'm saying? I can't get, sidetracked by this because of, like, you know what I'm saying? I'm looking in the chat, like Ty say 16, that, when your nuts drop, man, like, man, it's hard to stay focused, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's
It
hard to stay
is.
focused. So
It
so
is.
when do you think, hypothetically speaking, a young male should have some clarity on, on women? Not on, you know what I'm saying, what they natural body is telling them to do, but like some clarity. When do you think that age should be, you know?
If I had to put a age on it, um,
Mhm.
I would say from my personal experience, and then I would say certain individuals in my peer group, um, that I've observed and I've seen the progression in their competency as a man. I would say around, I'd say between about 35 to 40.
Okay. Well, see, because it's funny that you say that because they, for the male, they say the male doesn't reach his full maturity until 35. That's what they say. You know what I'm saying? I know it's different levels to it, but let me clarify that financial maturity. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And
They
I
say,
agree. I
yeah, they
agree because
say,
if you don't have that leadership or that guidance from an early age, that strong father figure or that strong competent father figure, or either somebody that's fulfilling that role or trying to fulfill that role in your life, um, yeah, you're gonna have a rough road, my brother. I'm gonna be honest with you, because
yeah,
if it's just your mama, goddamn, she ain't got no structure and discipline for herself, so she can't teach it to you. You know what I mean? So you gonna be struggling as a man out here, and if you
yeah,
do make it through the trial and error period, that's when I say around about your late 30s, early 40s is usually when you start,
yeah,
kind of getting your pace going and starting to go downhill. You know what I mean? Stuff starting to get a little easier, get your credit together.
man.
You get your mind right. You get yeah,
The reason why I say that, bro, is because a lot of us, you know what I'm saying, grew up with single parents. You know what I'm saying?
right,
Grew up with, we grew up with single parents. So a lot of people that grew up with single parents, if you didn't have uncles or you weren't around that, a lot of your peers was your gang. You know what I'm saying? And
right.
it's the blind leading the
Lead in
blind.
the
You know
blind.
what
Yep,
I'm saying?
yep.
So, a lot of people, young men get, for example, what's that? Golly, man, I hate when I get these brain farts. What's that? Player right now who just man, he messing with that with this girl running all over him, man. Number one draft pick, man.
I know you talking about the young brother. He
Yeah,
played football, right?
yeah. So that because all the things that you saying, it makes sense. But I'm saying when you look at people like him, you at your age, you can tell, hey man, she running all over this bro. You know what I'm saying? He ain't got no a clue in the world, and where's his daddy at? And all this other stuff. But at the same time, that's a lot. That's what you talking to. That's what we dealing with right now. So like, what age should a young, because at that point in time, it's damn near too late. He's already got a foothold on his life. He can make his own decisions, and she making it for him. So
Right.
at what age do you think, like hypothetically, for a younger male, that's realistically speaking what you're saying, 35. But like for a younger male, like, you know, I answer the question. For me, I believe going into like 17, 18, they need to have some kind of clarity, you know, on the direction that they want to go, you know. Yeah.
Yeah. Now that situation is crazy, but it's sad. But it's he's gonna have. So in that situation, this is my perspective on it. He's young with a lot of fame and fortune, which is the worst time for you to have fame and fortune when you're young, right? Because because your brain still hasn't developed. You don't see things for what they are. You see things for what you either told they are, or what you believe them to be. You haven't had enough experiences yet. You ain't had your little
Yeah,
heart broken yet. You ain't been lied to. You ain't, caught your girl, you know, topping another, dude off, and oh, I can't believe you did, or found some shit in her phone. You ain't been through all that yet. You haven't. You still
yeah,
have that fairy tale Disney concept in your mind that women are just sugar and spice, and everything nice.
yeah,
You have to realize the true nature of a female. Female nature in
yeah.
itself is just pure chaos. It's pure energy. It's just it's fire. You know what I mean? It's literal fire. And what does fire do? It consumes everything around it if it's not
Hmm.
contained or controlled. So if you have a woman that didn't have a father in her life, she's just a fire that's been burning everything up that she comes in contact with.
Yeah,
She hasn't been
yeah,
taught how to
man.
have that self control and accountability, because that comes from dad.
Yeah, that's what I'm
So
saying.
then you
But
get with
that
a woman
goes
like
that,
that, you fuck.
huh? Yeah. But that go back to what Big C was saying, having two parents in the household,
Exactly.
Shout out to Ty, man. You coming through today, boy. Man,
Was
salute.
good.
Salute. Man. Yes, sir.
God.
Tip. Man, with the 50 piece. Man.
Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
But
But
yeah,
yeah,
you know what I'm
man.
saying? Because at that, like what the country saying say when your dick get hard, you can't you all the blood flow from your feet to the center of your body, and all the blood from your brain flow to the center of the body, so you can't think and you can't run. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
especially at a young age, man. As soon as they get they nose get wide open, it's that I think that is the point where they need guidance. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Yeah.
But they need to guide us before that, is my point. And this is
Hmm.
why I say, uh, I'm just reiterating what the brother said earlier.
Hmm.
Uh, you need both parents in the household. It took both parents to create you. It's gonna take both to raise you. You need that masculine and feminine energy. I don't know why everybody think, oh, you just daddy. No, you need both. You need both
Yeah.
for you to be 360, for you to be full, well-rounded. A
Hmm.
well-rounded man you have to have both parents, because that's what's going to
Yeah.
give you that balance. So from a child, it's not just what your father told you, it's what he showed you through his actions. He getting up going to work every day, how he interacts with your mother, how he interact with your sisters, how he interact with his siblings, or his sisters, or his mother, your
Yeah.
grandmother. All these
Yeah.
things you're seeing and you're witnessing, and you're learning how to be a man through your father. So if he's the type of guy that he gets walked over, the family members don't really respect him, he try to put his foot down, but they like, nigga, anybody trying to hear that shit, like, then you not really, how can you learn what you need to learn to not be in situations? That's what I'm saying. It's certain men that would never be in a situation where a woman can take advantage of them, because they were
Yeah.
prepared for it.
Hmm.
So
But
even
see,
when you get to those years, like, yeah, your hormones gonna be raging, but even with that, you still should have that foundation already set. You see what I'm saying? So even after the fact, once you get that post nut clarity, you're gonna be like, damn, this was stupid, man. Why I do this
yeah,
shit? I know better than this
yeah.
shit, man. I hope I ain't get this broad pregnant, man. I got too much to lose. I got too much on the line. This is
But
stupid.
it's
Real
always
shit.
too late. But it's always too late.
Right.
Whenever you realize it is always too late. And and that's why I say when you start speaking this subject, I gotta ask all of these questions, man, because it's like, these are things that I don't know, man, like is not really discussed on a deeper level with the right crowd. Not, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, mhm. Like
Yeah.
most of the people in the chat probably like, man, I've been on that, because everybody took their bumps and bruises, because everybody got a couple of some years on them. But man, Look, you talking to a 16, 17-year old who just got his nose wide open, bro. You look at their eyes. You ever look in their eyes when you talking to them, and you can see like they just looking straight through you.
But see, them ain't the ones I'm worried about. Them ain't
Yeah,
the ones I'm worried about. I'm just being honest. Like I
yeah,
don't have time. My time is precious. My time is valuable. My wisdom
yeah,
is priceless. So I'm not gonna waste. I'm not gonna cast my jewels to swine. So if I see that you just like see that blank stare you talking about, they ain't got no soul, bro. You got motherfuckers
yeah.
that's out here that don't literally have no soul. There's no conscience in them. They don't understand the concept of right and wrong. All they understand is what feels good and what makes me happy.
Hmm.
If it feels good and it makes me happy, I'm gonna do it. I don't care who it hurt, who it affect. If it
I
puts me in
worry
a
about the
bad way,
repercussions after the
I
fact.
worry about
Yeah,
it. I deal with that later. I'm just
yeah,
gonna do whatever I feel in the moment. So that's the
uh,
culture that we live in now. So you right. Like most of these youngins, like it's but then like I say, it still depends on who's the one relaying the message.
yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? And it ain't really about who's relaying the message, it's how they view who's relaying the message. If they view you
Hmm.
as being somebody who they should listen to, then they gonna be all is. So if you think about all these rappers and entertainers, they look up to these motherfuckers. So whatever they say, they just gonna eat it up, whether it's right or wrong.
Yeah.
But that's on us as the real men, because we real men, bro. We out here
Hmm.
doing we changing lives. We taking care of our families. We asset to our communities. You know what I'm saying? Like we these niggas ain't pouring no money back into their communities and their hoods, and they you know what I'm saying? They not opening schools or fixing schools up or trying to work with the politicians or the local nonprofits or whatever to make sure that these niggas give out coats in the winter and turkeys.
Okay. So let's get back to the list then. Yeah. Back to the game. We're going too deep. You know what I'm saying? Going too far. You know what I'm saying? Going too far. You know what I'm saying?
All right,
You going too far away.
you're right. Let's get back.
Yeah.
So number two. Marriage today is a union of man, woman, and the state, not God. Now, I kind of elaborated on that when I was explaining number one. Um, Basically, like I said, the original union between man and woman was man, woman, and God, right?
Hmm.
Like I said, they replaced God with the state. So
Okay.
that's why I don't agree with marriage because, like I said, now that's why you have the issues of child support and all because like I said, they weaponized the woman. So now you got the issue of her. You got to worry about her trying to, take everything your own, or just I know too many men that was successful, well-to-do men, and just got with the wrong woman. And sometimes, bro, I know guys was with this woman 10, 20 years,
Hmm.
and she just decide, you know what, I'm bored. I'm not happy anymore. I want a divorce.
Hmm.
But I'm also going to take half your shit. I'm also going to take the children. You also got to pay me child support. I also want alimony. I also want this. I also want that. I want 50% of
Hey.
all your assets. Like, so now you went from having this woman in this marriage and this bond, right, that you thought was
Hmm.
going to be forever. And
Hmm.
she, and most people would think, oh, she switched up, or I mean, or she, she fell out of love with him. No, you ain't fall out of love with shit. Either there's
Yeah.
another man, or either this was her plan from jump. Because you don't just
Hmm.
uproot your whole family because you're unhappy. Like your happiness should never supersede your duty.
Yeah. So, you know, it's a few examples, you have me thinking, so let's just say I'll give you an example. Let's just say I'm 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 one football field short of $1 billion, right?
Right.
I I grew up, you know, doing whatever sport activity or whatever craft I was doing, got great at it. I followed my father's footsteps. I step into the pro ring and I'm doing my thing. I'm a professional, getting, everything out the yin yang. I go and marry this girl. And when I marry this girl, after I built my empire. and I go
Right.
out and I'm doing me. I'm having fun. I'm having fun. Then I get exposed. You know, now she get over half of that almost $1 billion. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Just off a divorce, and then probably around 5 years, 6 years prior to into my success. Then you got another one, who went through a divorce and he had four I think it's 4 kids, and he had to pay $20,000 a month for all 4 kids. You know, um, he retired. He retired from the NFL, and as soon as he went through that divorce, he came back to the NFL. They ended up winning the Super Bowl because he had to pay that money. Then he ended up being on a news broadcaster on 2 different shows and all of that stuff. And the two people I'm talking about is Strahan from the Giants had to
Mm-hmm.
pay $20,000 a month.
Mm-hmm.
Easy, and that wasn't with the whole deal. And then the other one was Tiger Woods. So those are two good examples, man.
Yep. And the
When
list
you
goes
start
on
talking
and
about
on.
that stuff, yeah.
And that's how you know. So now, with those examples that you just gave, right, with those numbers, which are
Hmm.
astronomical, there's no way that you can articulate to me that it makes any sense, right,
Hmm.
for a child, right, when you talking about one child,
Hmm.
where they would need $20,000 a month for childcare.
Hmm.
What the fuck? But this is what they do. The course, oh, well, this they going off of your income. Well, it
Hmm.
shouldn't go off my income. It should go off the child's needs, right? It should, so which would now this would make more sense to me with child support, right? It would make more sense for you to base the amount off of the child's needs, based off the demographic or the economy, right? Or cost of living to where that child is located or lives or resides, right? So if the child is in, let's say, uh, Birmingham, Alabama, I don't see why you would need $20,000 to take care of that child in Birmingham, Alabama.
Hmm.
You see what I'm saying? So, and if the money is
Yeah.
just specifically for the child, because that's why it's called child support, not spousal
Hmm.
support, not alimony, it's called child support. So it's supposed to support the child, but support doesn't mean full.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Mom is still supposed to play her role and her part as well.
Yes, sir.
If we're not together, then that financial responsibility, that 100% financial responsibility that's expected of me shouldn't be expected because we're not together. You
Hmm.
see what I'm saying? So the benefits that come with you having all your bills paid, right? I have benefits
Hmm.
that come with that too, because there's certain things that I'm going to require from you, right, to pay all your bills. Because me paying all your
Hmm.
expenses benefits the woman, right? So then I'm going to need benefits in return. I'm going to need some things in return. But if we're not together, you see what I'm saying? And I'm paying $20,000 a month for child support, I'd be no fool in the fucking world would ever believe that that whole 20,000 is going to that child. You'd be a fucking fool if you think that.
Hmm.
This is why they go back for increases. Why? Because the 20,000 ain't enough now. Because I've become used to spending this 20,000, right? Or getting this
Hmm.
20,000 every month. So now it's not enough because now I'm overspending the allotment that I'm getting. Why would you ever need an increase as a mother if you're getting that amount of money? But this is what they
Yeah.
do. The state wants more money and the woman wants more money. Everybody wants as much as they can, as much as your resources they can get. That's what they want. Everybody has, it's a whole system, my brother. And that's what we got to wake up to.
Hmm.
This is why I tell young brothers, do not get married, don't get her pregnant, and do not get married. Those are the two number one
Yeah.
ways that women can extract resources from men without any reciprocation. So I can get what I want to need from you, but I don't have to give you anything in return. So it's
Yeah.
basically robbery. I can't physically, just rob you or bully you or take what I want from you. So I'm gonna use the court system. I'm gonna use the police. The police. I'm gonna use the courts. I'm gonna use child support. I'm gonna use whatever means, right, that I
Uh-huh.
can to extract the resources from you that I need or that I want. So, hey, that's where I'm at with it. That's why I say it's no benefit. Why even set yourself up like that? It's a bad
Yeah.
deal. Marriage today is a
Yeah.
bad deal. It's a 360 deal.
So
So I
what would
wouldn't.
it take for you? What would it take for you to get married?
Uh, like I said, I don't mind having a union with a woman in the aspect of me getting married to where it's me, the woman, in the state. I'll never do that again. But if she
Mm-hmm.
wants to draw up a contract, I want to spend the rest of my life with her. She wants to spend the rest of her life with me. We sit down, we draw up that contract. We both in agreement. We go get it notarized, sign it, date it, take it down to the courthouse, put it on the record, county record. We good. So now we don't have to
Mm-hmm.
go through, the whole divorce process and all that with the state. No, we don't have to go through that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It makes everything a lot easier for both parties. The man has surety. He knows that. I mean, and there's more to it than just that. But I'm saying that in itself, that process in itself would give you way more security and surety than going through the state. Because people today still thinking that, a prenup. You got brothers right now that's that had a prenup and still got fucked over.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's asset protection is the order of the day, man. As a man,
Yeah.
your whole goal should be asset protection. We have okay, it's like this, and we've seen it in movies, we've dealt with it in real life. If I want to get to you, right, what's the easiest way to get to somebody and for it not to get bloody and get violent?
Legal.
Send a woman.
Legal. Legal action. Yeah. Oh yeah, but that's what they say though, man. You could be a king and have a whole bunch of killers around you. I mean, a for real king, and nobody can touch you. And a woman can walk past everybody, walk
Walk
up to you
past
and knock it, and
everybody and
knock
blow
it,
your brains
and
out.
yep, and knock the crown off your head. Yeah. Nah, for real. Supreme, what's happening, bro?
Man, what's happening? What's happening, y'all? I had a question for the good brother about
Okay.
after marriage when you
Okay.
married through the state. All right, so a question would be, so once you marry, let's say you a middle class brother. Once you get married and then you starting to you starting to boss up a little bit. You starting to advance and you starting to fill up your bank account.
Mhm.
There's ways that I've heard about that you set that up so that if you was to get divorced, she can't touch that. Like I want to say, you gotta. I want, man. I don't want to say the wrong
Trust
word. Correct me
funds.
if I'm wrong. You
Trust
got
funds. Trust fund shit can't touch your trust fund.
trust fund,
You know what
or
I'm
if it
saying?
was a
Yeah.
gift directly to you.
Hmm.
If it was
See, I don't know about all that, but I do know. When I was working in construction, there was a one of the business owners out there was going through a divorce with his wife, and what he did was he went and liquidated everything. He got rid of his company, sold everything, did all of that. Went and hid you hid his money, did what he was gonna do with it. Then went through the divorce process, and as soon as everything got cleared, then he went and opened his business back up. So I
oh,
mean, like it's man, it's a lot of things that people get into, man. Because when you start talking about the state and stuff like that, you gotta have a legal sense of mind, man. But
One more thing.
uh,
One more thing. I mean to cut you
mhm,
off. If your business or whoever you work for, they can help you too. Like, what's the name? Eric Spoelstra of the Miami Heat,
mhm, mhm,
the coach. He was dating
mhm,
one of the cheerleaders. They held his. They was going to give him the extension. They held
mhm.
that off until the divorce was finalized. So you know,
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that situation. I remember that.
mhm.
Yeah,
But
but
then
you know,
this all good advice. But
mhm.
as good as advice this is, do you think that this will take away from that 3 out of 10% of women that you really ain't got to worry about that with once they show you that they definitely.
Ain't, ain't, ain't
You
no.
know,
I ain't trying to. I'm blunt, young brother. I'm blunt and I'm honest. I don't think there's a woman on this planet that's down for you. They're always down for themselves first. You come
You,
second, always,
do
and that's just
you
human
think
nature.
that's on every continent in on this
The
planet?
entire planet. That's female nature. Female nature is they're hypergamous, so they're always looking for something better. This is what I mean when I say as older men, we gotta let these young brothers know, like, because there's some of us that don't know. It's some older ones that haven't figured it out yet. You know what I mean? But it's the ones that do know. It's our duty to let the other ones know. I'm not saying don't trust her, but I'm saying trust that she's gonna do what women do. Right? A
Yeah,
woman is gonna be a
yeah,
woman at the end of the day. Female nature is female nature. I done been to other
yeah,
countries, like it's all the same. You got the same type of
yeah,
women overseas as you do here.
yeah.
So just like that, but that's why
Oh,
I say, as long as you protect your assets, you don't have to worry about that because it's really nothing she can get or get to. You're
yeah.
protected.
So, you know that UFC fighter Israel?
Yeah,
He was dating this girl from Australia, and I guess in Australia, if you date for X amount of time, they consider that married. And if you guys break up or whatever, she can take you to court and go through the process.
and
So
best
he went
believe
through
she
the
knew that.
yeah, and but the thing was, he had everything in his mother's name. I mean, literally he doesn't own not one thing. The only thing that he has is given to him by his sponsors as far as clothes, his place of his place of residency for the traveling or whatnot. So, she kind of ended up, empty handed, and stuff like that, man. Even if you sincerely want to jump into a relationship, man, and you think the whole nine, man, like this is it or whatever, but you still have to protect your assets. You still have to protect yourself at the end of the day, man, because um, ultimately it could be a business, and that's what it damn near is turned into.
Yep.
So you gotta protect your assets, even if it's from a sincere point, because on your end it might be sincere, and on her end it might be sincere, but as time progresses, man, uh, all that stuff go get put to the side, man. I used to always say a thing like this: it ain't about how about the good times, it's about the bad times, you know.
Yeah.
Cause for real, man. Cause at the end of the day, man, like and you can be kicking it with anybody. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about any chick, and it be all good. But then when it's all bad, that's when you start seeing, what it really is, what the
Yeah.
intentions are. You know what I'm saying? Where it's coming from. So a lot of things, man, when you up, it's gonna be good. You know what I'm saying? And when you up, you gonna be blinded. Especially at a younger age when you have money, man. So having some good financial protection, learning about finances. That's why I say, man, I think that as a young man, you should learn about finances before you learn about women. Because if you can learn about finances before you learn about women, then you understand it's a process in how you protect your assets.
Right.
And you don't run it around. You don't run around, um, putting your assets out there, as far as partnership. You always go, and that's why I say, man, what is the age that you should start educating uh, a male on, the interactions, with a female? That's when they nose get open. But what is the process you did prior to that? Because you said they needed to learn you prior to that. My process
Right.
would be you need to learn about finances and protecting your assets. Because if you can learn about that, then going forward, it will be easier to deal with women. I believe, and that's I could be wrong. That's my opinion, you know. Uh, but yeah,
No, I agree. I agree. But now I'm gonna say this: that works, but that's like it's still loopholes in that too. Like my way is sure. Ain't no there's nothing that supersedes, because this is what Trump. This is what everybody else is doing. All the elite, all the people that the people think they in these secret societies and groups, and they got all this secret information. This you can Google this shit. It's nothing. It's nothing secret about it. They try to spook
Yeah,
it, make it spooky so you stay the fuck away from it, so you can stay broke and they can capitalize off your ignorance. That's all this shit is.
yeah. Salute,
Now,
Melee.
as you said, a trust. That is the correct way. I ain't trying to get too off topic, but I'm gonna touch on, try to answer this question. So
Mm-hmm.
for asset protection, what you want to do, you want to have a trust. That trust should be your umbrella. It should be a foreign trust.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's a whole process of that. You can look it up. I ain't going into details. Now, I'm gonna do a video on that later, but I ain't going
Okay,
to
but
details today. But
time out. Slow it down. Slow it down. Say it
I
one more
got you.
time, man. Say it one more time.
Your umbrella, right? Your shield should be a
Mm-hmm.
foreign trust.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody write it down. Look it the fuck up. Foreign
Mm-hmm.
trust. Should
Mm-hmm.
start with a 98 number. Your EIN number will start with 98. That's a foreign trust. Google it.
Mm-hmm.
Study it. Look it up. That should be your umbrella. That's your shield, is that foreign trust. Because whatever you put up under that foreign trust, you make that your holding company. Whatever you put up under that trust now has the protections of that foreign trust. Because that foreign
Okay.
trust takes everything under it outside of U.S. jurisdiction.
So that means if I were to
Just think
get
of, okay,
sued.
I'm going to put it to you like this. I'm going to make it as simple as possible. Everybody on this panel, everybody watching, listening is going to listen to this. You've been to court. You've gotten a ticket, right? You of age. You have a license. You done been to court. You done been to traffic court. You done got a ticket. You done got pulled over. You ain't had seatbelt on, whatever, right? Some of us have been incarcerated, right?
Not
When's
me.
the
I ain't
last
never
time?
got none of that.
Oh,
I ain't
okay.
never got a ticket. I ain't never got nothing.
He had to hurry
Okay.
up and clear the. We ain't mad at you, my brother. Hey, let him finish though.
Where I have.
Yeah, me too, my brother. 2 out of 3, all 3. Goddamn.
So my point is, when you in that cell, that holding cell, or when you in that courtroom, do you ever see any Asians in there? Do you
As
ever
far
see
as
any
like,
East Indians? They're
as
in
far
there
as like,
they're in there with a ticket, or they're in there with a summons, and they got to go to court too. Have you ever seen an East Indian, an Asian, any of these foreigners in
bro, I
these
seen one.
municipalities?
I've seen the Asian. I've seen the Asian. I've seen a
I
couple of
seen one
Asians.
in the joint with me. And he was sovereign. And he was teaching sovereignty. The only Asian, he looked like Tiger Woods, a little bit lighter.
Hey,
Man
I
was
But
think he
that's
Asian.
got
my
a whole.
point.
He got a
You
whole
don't
woman in the
see
background.
foreigners. You mostly don't see foreigners in those venues. Why? Because that's
Yeah.
they're outside of that jurisdiction, because they're not U.S. citizens.
Hmm.
Now they may have dual citizenship, or they may
Oh, you talking about not a citizen. Oh,
Sovereign, non-sovereign.
yeah, okay.
no,
That
I
was
ain't
the
talking
one.
about no
Oh, okay, because
sovereign.
the only Asian I was locked up with in the joint. When
Yeah,
I was locked up in the
cause
joint, he was teaching that sovereignty. He was Asian. He was the only one in that teaching it too.
But he ain't got no
yeah,
sovereignty. But to hear this out, that's an oxymoron. Because if he was sovereign, he wouldn't be in jail.
I guess he was trying to be there.
yeah,
That's what I'm telling you. A lot of people out here be talking, but they don't know what the hell they talking about. Like
yeah,
that don't even go together. That's like the Queen of England being locked up, in county jail. Like that's never gonna happen.
yeah.
So
Okay, I
no,
see what you're
if he
saying.
was sovereign, he wouldn't be in jail. They wouldn't be able to deal with him on that level, because he's outside of that jurisdiction.
Yeah.
Now we got off topic. I'm trying. Let me bring it back. So what was where I leave off? Number 3.
Uh-huh.
Marriage gives the woman and state security and leverage.
Okay.
Now, why I say that is, now let's think about it. When a woman gets married, right? Now, if y'all just boyfriend and girlfriend, or that's your baby mama, whatever, right? There's certain benefits that come with that if she has a child with you, right? So she can extract resources from you, but it's gonna be minimal, right? Because y'all not married. So, but you have a kid, you have a child together. So she can get you for child support, she can get you, but if you're married, right? That now benefits the state and the woman. See, I be trying to put these young girls on game. Y'all out here thinking y'all finessing these guys, but y'all finessing yourself and your child, because the state takes a cut too. The state
Yeah,
gets the money, takes their cut, and then gives you the
yeah,
rest.
the child support money goes to the judges and attorneys retirement fund. Look it up.
Exactly. Exactly. And it's public record. That's why I be telling you, all you gotta do is look it up.
Yeah,
It's public record.
yeah.
So we're making
So
these
that's
people
why
rich,
yeah,
right?
that's why they hold that back pay. They want that back pay. I don't
Exactly.
give a damn. If you ain't paid in 18 years, they want 18 years worth. You know.
Or they
Yeah.
lock you up. And who does that benefit?
Nah, they gonna lock you up and then put and let you out, and you still gotta pay it.
You see what I'm saying? But while you're locked
Yeah,
up, that benefits the prison industrial complex, right? So they making money because they
yeah.
get, I don't know what, there's like $7,000 a day for each inmate. So that's why they're trying to keep them jails full. This is a whole
Mm-hmm.
industry within the industry. But if you don't
Mm-hmm.
know, you don't know. You just think, oh, they just messing with me because I'm black. No, my brother, it's deeper than that.
Yeah.
They messing with you because you don't know who you truly are, and you don't understand government. You don't understand commerce. You don't understand trust law. You don't understand the game that you playing. And that's
Yeah.
why you keep losing, because you're trying to learn the rules while you playing the game.
Mm-hmm. No, for real.
So now, like I said, it's originally it was between, no, that was number 2. We on 3. Marriage gives the
Yeah.
woman and state security and leverage. Now, the woman gets security and leverage through the state by extracting resources from you. So at any moment, if that woman is unhappy or she is unpleased with you or your behavior or your finances, whatever, she can now file for divorce, right? No fault
Mm-hmm.
divorce, right? Why would they make that a thing? No fault divorce. So I can
Mm-hmm.
just divorce you for nothing just because I feel like it
Yeah.
and take half your shit. Well, that makes sense if you're trying to get money off of me, but that makes sense why the state would allow that.
Mm-hmm.
So now she can leave you, take half your shit, right, and the children, but you still got to pay
Mm-hmm.
child support. So you paying child support, you need a place to stay, you need a car.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
so
You
basically
don't
you're
pay. You
paying
don't
for 2
pay.
households.
Yeah. You don't pay your child support. They not only they gonna lock you up, they gonna take your license.
Why would they
You
do that?
know.
Now, why would they take your license? Make that make sense. If you take my license, how can I get back and forth to work to make the money to pay you?
Yeah. Because they want
So
you
I'm
to
gonna be forced
comply.
to
They
do
want
what?
you
Drive with a
check in.
suspended license, right?
Yeah, but they want you to check in. Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Because you they bitch.
Yeah. And they'll garnish your check at the same time.
Exactly. Because you they
They
bitch.
want you to they want you to come hand them the money.
Why you
Put
think
it
the
in
women?
my
Why do you
hand.
think these women today are so masculine and so just arrogant in how they deal with men? Because they know they have the
Mm-hmm.
leverage. Oh nigga, you don't do what I want you to do. Get the fuck out of my house. Oh nigga, oh you won't. Oh you fucking with this other bit. Oh, I'm calling the police. I'm gonna say you hit me. Or I'm gonna call the police and lie on you or say this is what they do because they know there's no consequence to their actions.
Yeah.
So even if a woman doesn't show those characteristics or traits when you first start dealing with her, you think you got you one. Oh yeah, she a good girl. Nah, she ain't like that. She different. Bro, ain't none of them different. They
Yeah.
all the same. It just take the right situation and the right man to bring that out of them.
Mm-hmm.
This is why I say you should never trust a woman. Never trust anybody. You a man. You always watch your back. You always protect yourself.
Yeah, man. I think it definitely starts with this is my personal opinion, man. I think it starts with your financial education, man. You know what I'm saying? Because you got to think about all the things that most what do you call them, pimps, simps? Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
What do they do?
But the simps is
You
the
got to get.
problem. They're the
But you
problem.
get the flash, but you get flash, you get bang, you get a lot of stuff. You invest in look at me, look my way type stuff, man. And a lot of people I forget all about self preservation. You
Right.
know, get so caught up on moving forward, trying to achieve their goal of obtaining this jewel, this trophy or whatever you want to call it, man, that they forget about self-preservation. I think it
Yep.
starts with financial education, man. Because if you start basing yourself on financial education, you start understanding how to protect your assets. And protecting your assets and keep you out the hot seat when it comes to messing with these women.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because this is the thing. If you lead with your money, what do you think she's gonna? That's what she's dealing with you for, because that's what you led with. You led with your money. You didn't lead with your intellect. You didn't lead with your knowledge or your wisdom. You didn't lead with any of your other attributes, your other qualities. You led with your finances. So that's what she's going to be attracted to you for, your finances, not you.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
And then on top of that, we got to stop dealing with these bras that don't really fuck with us. You got to fuck with the bra that fuck with you.
That's a good one right there, boy.
Real shit. 'Cause when you're young,
you just
think
said
about
you
it.
ain't gonna find it. You just
You
contradicted
got
yourself.
a lot of
You
women
just-
in the background.
Oh damn.
What you say? What you say, bro?
But he said you ain't gonna find nobody that he said you ain't gonna find nobody that fuck with you. But then he just said you gotta find somebody that fuck with you.
Yeah.
I'm trying to tell him it's a 3% out of 10 a woman out there that's gonna fuck with you, brother. It's out there. It's out there, but I understand where you coming from, though, bro.
No, brother. It's what I'm saying is, you as a man, it's the
I
women that
understand
you
to
can get.
protect the assets part, bro. I understand to protect your asset, bro. And I understand the part about the woman fucking with you for your bread, that you gotta protect yourself because there's women out here that only fuck with you for that. But then you said you gotta find women that fuck with you. So how you gonna find them if they ain't out here?
No, that's the thing. You don't find them. They come to you.
Well, they come to you then. But they out here though. Can we agree that they out here?
They are out here.
Yeah.
My point is, we overlooking them.
Okay.
That's my point.
I'm back.
We overlooking them.
I'm back on board with you, brother. I'm back on board with you.
I'm not saying all women ain't shit. I'm saying that the majority of them ain't. That's what I'm saying.
Hey,
Out of that
hey,
majority,
when
Hey,
they
my
hear
mama,
this,
you right.
that's what they gonna say. When they hear this, that's what they gonna say.
but it's the truth.
Yeah.
It's the
It's the
truth.
truth, though. It's the truth. It's the truth.
What y'all experience has been? What is y'all have all
I've
your
been
relationships in
engaged.
the past been great?
I've been engaged. I mean, because I've been engaged twice. I done called off 2 engagements. And the first one was because I messed up, and the second one was because I was like, nah, this ain't gonna end real. I predicted the future, so I cut it off with a woman before it get to the. How you doing?
Yeah.
As you should. As you should. You
So I done
always
bought
go
2
with your gut.
rings. This the third time right here, and I done been at my worst. Been out of work because of medical conditions, all type of seizures. My mama called me. She broke bad on you. I'm like, hell no. Baby.
Got a lot of wind, bro. We can't hear you.
Yeah. Nah, I muted him. He probably hit back when the wind calmed down.
Okay.
Yeah,
But yeah,
man, we coming up on that time, man.
Yeah. So I'm gonna run through them real quick. We only got 2 more. Now, number 4, women today have been weaponized to destroy a man spiritually, physically, and mentally for capital gain. Now, that kind of relates to what I was just talking about earlier, right? The state benefits, the woman benefits, right? But who loses? The child and the man. The child has his father absent, so he's losing that male guidance, that male leadership, right? And then also the man loses because he's losing that relationship with his son or daughter, right? And he's also having resources taken from him, and there's nothing that he's getting in return.
Yeah.
So that's what I mean when I say the woman's been weaponized to destroy a man, because if you love a woman, that's the only person really that can break you down to a point where you start questioning who you are as a person and as a man.
Yeah.
And that's the way in. That's the way in. So that's why the state uses the woman, weaponizes the woman to get to you. Everything, if you think about commerce, bro, everything that you see on a day-to-day basis, it's psychological warfare, my brother. When you walk into, let's say you go into Burlington's or Ross, right? And you just stand at the front door and you look at that entire store. 90% of that store is catering to women and children. The next time you go in a department store, just look at the store. The women's section will be half the fucking store. Then it'll be a section for the men, and then for the children or for babies. But the majority of that store is catering to women because women are
Yeah.
the biggest consumers. But if we make more money, right? If you look up the statistics, men make more money than women, right?
Hmm.
Annually. So if we're making
Right.
the money, but they're spending the money, what's going on there? And they're not spending
Yeah.
the money on things that are going to add value to the household or to the family or even to them. They're spending the money on materialistic bullshit.
Mm.
So they always market to the women, right? And then the things that they market to us is things that this is the social engineering they use on us. You need to have this scat pack because it's gonna get you some pussy.
Hey, shout out to Ty, man, with another 50 piece, man.
Appreciate
Man,
it.
bro.
Appreciate it.
Man, appreciate it, bro. Man,
Appreciate it.
sir.
But that's the trick bag, bro. That's the social engineering that they use. You need these Jordans. You need these clothes. You need this designer. You need this overpriced, hyped up fucking Chevy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This American made bullshit. You need this scat pack. You need this demon. You need this. You need that. Right? You gotta have this
Hmm.
look. You gotta have this car. You gotta have this. You gotta have that. At the end of the day, you can have all this shit, and you that doesn't guarantee that you're gonna get the woman that you want, or better yet, the
Hmm.
woman that you need to get to where you're trying to go. So it's a waste of money. But who does it benefit? It benefits these corporations. It benefits the car manufacturers. It benefits these high end designers, right? They
Hmm.
making money because you spending all your money on these clothes. You buying these fucking cars, these overpriced cars. So that's benefiting the economy. It's benefiting these corporations, but it's not benefiting us as men. These women are extracting the resource. We wasting our money, either spending it on bullshit or giving it away to worthless women who are then turning around taking that money and giving it to other niggas or even spending it on dumb
Yeah.
shit. And
Yeah.
this is what's been going on. So if we decide, that's why all these different corporations got monopolies in certain industries.
Hmm.
Because they have the minds of the masses. So now we wake the hell up and realize, I don't even want this shit. I don't even think about it. You buy a pair of fucking Jordans, when you was young, oh my God, I gotta have, I'm gonna use myself for example. The fucking
Hmm.
Concord 11s. The Concord 11s. I was at my age, and I had a gun. So I was the next nigga I see was some Concord 11s. Nigga, if they my size, nigga, you coming up out them bitches.
Yeah.
That's how bad I wanted them motherfuckers.
Hmm.
Now I ain't robbed nobody. I got my money up and did go to, I actually went to Foot Locker and bought me a pair, right? When they dropped. I think it was
But it
at
was,
Christmas.
but it was on your mind, though. It
It
was
was
on
on my
your mind.
mind. And
Yeah.
a couple niggas, they would have got, but they feet was too small. But
Yeah.
so, but my point is, I got the fucking shoes, right? I'm just, oh my God, you get that feeling in the top of your head tingling and shit. You just, oh, damn, bro, oh my God. Ooh, you go get your little outfit to rock with it. You wear them motherfuckers for like a month, 2 months. Guess what? You done scuffed them. The white part on the sole kind of dirty now. You clean it off, but it's still a little brown. The jump man, he might a stitch done popped out because you walk past the bed and the nail caught it or something. Whatever. The shits ain't fresh as they was. You don't feel the same way about them shoes that you did when you first got them.
That's how it is with a lot of stuff, man.
But hold on,
That's
look,
how it
and then
is with
after a
a.
while, let's say 2-3 years later, guess what? You cutting grass in the motherfucker.
Yeah. Yep.
You feel me? You only give a fuck about you cutting grass, to change the oil in your
Yep.
cars. You don't give a fuck about them shits no more. And now you on to whatever
Yeah.
the new Jordan or the new shoe or the new whatever hype is. So it's really it's pointless. It's a waste of fucking money because you really don't
Hmm.
want the shit. You really don't want the shit because if you really wanted it, you would take care of it forever because you would view it as an asset. But how the fuck can a shoe that you wear on a dirty ass ground be an asset?
Hmm.
See, you got me going in. I'm all right. Now I'm gonna leave it at that.
Yeah.
Now number 5. This is the last one. What laws or legislation exists that protects men, or what laws or policies were created solely for men? Now, unless there's something that you know of that I'm not privy to, I
Hmm.
don't know any laws, right, that were enacted specifically just for men. Meaning
What do you?
in
What do you?
our in our
Okay.
lifetime.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Okay,
In
I was
our
about to
lifetime,
say.
just for men. All
Yeah.
these laws and legislation and acts and all this shit that's been passed, right?
Hmm.
It's been for foreigners, the Asians, the ABC people. Everybody's gotten something. What have we gotten? Not even just black men. We ain't even talking about just black. We talking about men in their entirety.
Hmm.
Nothing. There's no protections that you really have against this system or this matrix that's been created to extract resources from it.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? But it's certain systems that are in place that it's certain things that you can do to get remedy. It's certain things that you can do to get asset protection, right? You can set yourself up
Yeah.
to where, because I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna end it with this. I know everybody's heard that saying before. The goal is control everything but own nothing.
Hmm.
You don't want to own anything because when you ownership equates to liability, right? So you become liable, right, for this asset or this property because you own it. It's in your name. But now if you don't own anything but you control it, well then if anything goes wrong, guess what? I'm not liable for this shit.
Hmm.
It ain't mine. I don't own it. It has no ties to me. You can't tie this shit back to me and make me liable
Yeah.
for it. So so that's I'm gonna end it with that. Marriage
Okay.
is a no-go. 2025, the goal is to stay alive. Do not stay your
Yeah.
ass out of that goddamn what is it? The justice of the peace. Run. But if you do, find you a young lady, a woman, and you taking it serious and you thinking about, committing to her, it's certain ways to go about that. But leave the state out of it. Y'all drop your own contract, get it signed, get it notarized, put it on the record, and y'all good.
Hmm.
And I'm gonna end it with that.
Shoot, you heard it here first, man. Your boy Pimps over Simps, man. I'm glad y'all could kick it with us, man. Welsh, everybody in the building, man. Big C, Supreme, Papa, man. You know what I'm saying? Ty, man. Dang, Ty, man. You coming through, man.
Appreciate you.
Woo!
Appreciate
Man.
you.
For sure, man. Who else? Tony M, man. I apologize about that earlier, partner, man. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
yeah, man. You know, yes, sir, man. Let's go.
Yeah.
What you call it, man? Hey, y'all, man. Toyo is live right now. I'm about to go kick it in the PJs, man. Toyo, yeah, Big Hill
Tap
fan,
in.
you know. Yes,
Tap
sir.
in.
So what's?
Tap in.
Yeah,
Salute.
yeah, man. So you gonna be here tomorrow?
Yes, sir.
What's the topic for tomorrow, bro?
The topic for tomorrow. Let's see. The topic for tomorrow is going to be, what is your purpose as a man?
Yeah. Okay. Bet.
That one gonna be heavy right there. I'm gonna try to keep it short.
Yes,
I'm gonna try
sir.
to stay within the time frame. But yeah, that one gonna be heavy.
Hey man, well y'all know what it is, man. We gonna be back in the AM, man. So you go check us out, man, for that morning show. Kicking it with the Shogun Bros with that no decaf, man. And then you know the lineup, man. And it's gonna get longer. It's gonna line up, gonna get longer and longer and longer. It's gonna be 24/7, man. You know what I'm saying? Eventually
Yes,
it's gonna be
sir.
24/7, man. You gonna get it all right here, man. You gonna cover it, not wanna leave, man. Yes, sir. Yeah, man, we out.
Peace.
Peace.